As the probe heat mounts on protesters accused in the Republic Day violence, the Delhi police has released 25 images of vandals who carried out the Red Fort siege. The images show vandals armed with makeshift weapons laying siege at the Red Fort. The cops have taken the help from forensic experts to analyze the material and to identify the culprits. These fresh 25 images come days after the Delhi police had released 12 images of vandals. Actor Deep Sidhu's picture has also in fact been released by the police. This after 1 lakh rupees was announced as a reward for his arrest. Currently, Deep Sidhu remains at large. A manhunt is underway to also find him. Till now, over 120 people have been arrested. Over 40 FIRs have been lodged. Celebrity climate activist Greta Thunberg is facing trouble in India after she tweeted a protest toolkit and backed the farm law stir. A case of sedition and criminal conspiracy has been filed by the Delhi police against unnamed accused who they say were behind the toolkit. The cops claim that the manual that referred for organized protests was authored by Khalistani elements, but Greta is unfazed.
People are suffering. People are dying. Entire ecosystems are collapsing. We are in the beginning of a mass extinction, and all you can talk about is money and fairy tales of eternal economic growth. How dare you? I should be back in school.
Greta Thunberg, Swedish environmental activist, the teenager who spoke truth to the world leaders at the UN.
How dare you?
A contender for the Nobel Peace Prize and now a subject of investigation in India. The Delhi police has registered an FIR on the protest toolkit tweeted by Thunberg, which detailed the action plan to be followed in the protest against farm laws. The police say no one has been named in the FIR and they will investigate the creator of the toolkit.
उस toolkit को एक पर्टिकुलर खालिस्तानी प्रो खालिस्तानी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है जिसका नाम पोएटिक जस्टिस फाउंडेशन है, इसके द्वारा इसकी ऑथरशिप दिखाई गई है. दिस पर्टिकुलर टूल किट हैज़ कम टू आवर नोटिस एंड टेकिंग कॉग्निजेंस ऑफ दिस टूल किट, दिल्ली पुलिस हैज रजिस्टर्ड ए केस अंडर सेक्शन 124A, 153A, 153 and 120B IPC.
Thunberg has been in the eye of storm since Wednesday when she tweeted a toolkit that made claims of fascism in India and state-sponsored genocide. She had later deleted the tweet and shared a new toolkit which omitted the claims. The ruling BJP is alleging an international conspiracy against India.
ट्वीट ग्रेटा थनबर्ग ने डाला जिसमें एक टूल किट थी. ये टूल किट कम थी, अराजकता की स्कूल किट ज्यादा थी. वो ताकतें जो भारत की प्रगति से परेशान हैं, जो नहीं चाहते कि हमारे देश की लोकतंत्र की बात पूरे विश्व में तारीफ करके करी जाती है, वो आगे भी हो, उसके लिए एक अंतर्राष्ट्रीय साजिश रची जा रही है.
The climate activist, however, is unfazed and has vowed to continue her support to the farmer protesters. The procedure to be followed after the filing of an FIR would normally include questioning of Thunberg and any other involved in the protest linked to the toolkit. The Delhi police have so far not mentioned how they intend to proceed in the case. Bureau Report, India Today.
Now, as the government firefights global online propaganda on the farmer protest, the internet freedom debate has been reignited, and that's because the government has put micro-blogging site Twitter on notice. This after the social media platform had unblocked accounts and posts that the government had ordered and instructed it to block. The government has now threatened Twitter of penal action, warning that its officials in India will be punishable with up to 7 years in jail if the government of India's orders are not complied with. But the question is, can social media platforms actually be regulated?
Off Delhi's borders, the farmer protest has been raging online too. But the misinformation and offensive content being posted on Twitter has the government of India seeing red. 24 hours after Modi government put the social media platform on notice, Twitter on Thursday suspended 2 accounts of Tractor to Twitter campaign for alleged objectionable content. This after it had blocked and then restored over 100 accounts that called for farmer genocide. The company said that the accounts and tweets were unwithheld in the name of free speech and news worth.
देखिए, कुछ लोग जो उपासना का चोला ओढ़ के वासना का काम कर रहे हैं, किसानों के आंदोलन को लेके, या और देश में तमाम इससे पहले सीएए हुआ, तो ऐसे लोगों से सावधान रहने के लिए ये इंटेलिजेंस का एक अपना नेटवर्क है, तो उसको जो भी उचित हो वो कार्रवाई करनी चाहिए.
The government on Wednesday had threatened penal action against the microblogging platform if it failed to block handles spreading misinformation claiming farmer genocide. Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology has warned of slapping sections of IT Act, which could result in up to 7 years jail for Twitter India officials and a financial penalty for the company. Centre's 5-page notice is strongly worded and says that hashtag on genocide was posted on Twitter with the design to inflame passions, hatred and misinformation. The government in the notice said that incitement to genocide is not freedom of speech, it is a threat to law and order. The government goes on to state that Twitter unilaterally blocked accounts and tweets despite its 31st January order for blocking. Twitter had replied to the ministry on February 1, declining to abide by and obey the order issued by the government.
देश देख रहा है, दुनिया देख रहा है, आप अलग-अलग तरीके से दबाव बनाने का प्रयास कर रहे हैं, बोलने की आज़ादी खत्म करना चाहते हैं. हमें लगता है ये सारी चीजें लोकतंत्र में ठीक नहीं.
इसमें विदेशी ताकतों को कौन प्रेरित कर रहा है, क्या कर रहा है, यदि आपकी नीतियां ऐसी हैं और उसके ऊपर कोई प्रतिक्रिया देते हैं और आपकी छवि विदेशों में भी अगर खराब हो रही है, तो उसमें आंदोलन को दोष देने की आवश्यकता नहीं है.
Government has now read out the rule book to Twitter, saying it is an intermediary and obliged to obey the direction of the government. Is Twitter then liable as an intermediary, and could it be in bigger trouble ahead? Bureau Report, India Today.
Suspense looms large over the BJP's proposed Rath Yatra in Bengal. The yatra is scheduled to begin from Saturday and will cover 294 constituencies of the poll-bound state. Even as the BJP has sought permission from the Bengal administration, no clearance yet that's been given for this Rath Yatra. Sources within the BJP, however, have indicated that it's acquired permission for the ground and helipad from local authorities in Nabadvip. Now, the permission for the Rath Yatra is still awaited from the various district administrations. The Calcutta High Court, meanwhile, will hear the petition against the Rath Yatra next week. The petitioner sought a ban on the proposed yatra, citing the law and order situation.
A Rath Yatra through all 294 assembly constituencies of West Bengal. A key element of the BJP's battle plan to fight Mamata Banerjee in the upcoming election. But the yatra, which is being called the Parivartan Yatra and was to start on Saturday, is yet to get the needed approvals. The Trinamool Congress government in the state has asked the BJP to seek permission from local bodies. The BJP, running out of time, is approaching local authorities.
Bengal BJP has approached government administration, West Bengal administration. We have divided West Bengal in 5 zones and taking out 5 Rath Yatras, touching each assembly segments.
The Rath Yatra is to be kicked off by BJP chief JP Nadda, also faces another legal roadblock. A Kolkata-based lawyer has filed a public interest litigation in the Calcutta High Court claiming the Rath Yatra could hit the state's law and order.
क्योंकि चीफ जस्टिस अभी नहीं है, इसी के चलते आज हमको सुबह में 10:30 बजे मेंशनिंग करने ये बोले थे. उसके बाद उन्होंने 9 फरवरी सुबह 7:30 बजे उन्होंने सुनेंगे.
As the BJP gears up for the mega show of strength, the Trinamool has taken a swipe at the Saffron Party, asking it to first carry out parivartan or change within itself.
उनको परिवर्तन अगर नाम दिया गया तो उसको अपने आप को पहले परिवर्तन करना चाहिए. सारा देश में जो माहौल, जो स्थिति उन्होंने पैदा किया, ये सारे किसान लोग खपा हो गए हैं. सारे हिंदुस्तान के आम जनता किसान लोगों का साथ है. इसको सोचते उनको अपने नीति को परिवर्तन करना चाहिए पहले.
The Rath Yatra is just one of a long list of flashpoints in Bengal. With elections coming soon, the fight between the BJP and Trinamool is only expected to get louder and more fierce. With Polami Saha in Kolkata, Bureau Report, India Today.
Nothing is sacred in a political fight, and COVID vaccines have emerged as the latest flashpoint between the TMC and the BJP in Bengal. BJP Bengal chief Dilip Ghosh accused the ruling TMC of jumping the vaccine line. He accused TMC netas of looting vaccines also from the airport. Dilip Ghosh, in a series of tweets, alleged that TMC leaders got vaccinated after looting the consignments from the airport, referring to Mamata Banerjee's claim of a shortage of vaccines in Bengal. Dilip Ghosh said it's obvious that due to a loot at the airport, there would be a vaccine shortage in the state. 2 TMC MLAs, remember, had last month jumped the queue, publicly vaccinated themselves on January 16th, even when only healthcare workers were in line in phase 1. From poll-bound Bengal, let's get you the latest updates from poll-bound Tamil Nadu, where the fight for former Chief Minister Jayalalitha's legacy is heating up ahead of the assembly elections in the state. First, the EPS government shut down Jayalalitha's memorial days ahead of Sasikala's return to Chennai. And now a group of senior AIADMK leaders met with Tamil Nadu DGP to register a complaint against Sasikala for her use of the AIADMK flag following her discharge from the Bengaluru hospital. State ministers D. Jayakumar, C.V. Shanmugam and P. Thangamani were among the leaders who met with the top cop. This comes after AIADMK had asserted that Sasikala could not use the party flag since she is no longer in the party and she was expelled. Remember that Sasikala had been discharged from the Bengaluru hospital on Sunday, where she was being treated for COVID-19. And when she went back to her residence in Bengaluru, she travelled in a vehicle which had an AIADMK flag. And all eyes are on her political course and decisions ahead as the state approaches assembly elections. She's set to leave for Chennai on Monday.
Are you saying that Sasikala should not use a flag here?
Yes.
You don't want Sasikala to use a flag
Yes.
here?
That is the ultimate.
But for that you are supposed to go to the court, no sir. Why DGP office?
Yes.
You have to go to the court for that, right?
No. Actually, what the court given the direction is clearly spelled out by our law minister. So based on the court order only, we have given the petition to the DGP. Okay.
With Sasikala out of jail and assembly polls approaching in Tamil Nadu, what role will Sasikala have in the political discourse and narrative in Tamil Nadu? We break down what exactly the Sasikala factor will be in the elections.
Hailed as Chinnamma or Junior Amma, V.K. Sasikala was always the power behind the throne, the operator behind the iron curtains at Veda Nilayam in Poor's Garden. After Jayalalitha passed away in December 2016, the Supreme Court convicted her in the disproportionate assets case. Sasikala was painted as the villain, the evil influence over an innocent Purachi Thalaivi by her detractors. Sasikala had virtually controlled the AIADMK and had its leaders falling at her feet in a post-Jaya order. But once she was behind bars at Bengaluru Central Prison, she was stripped off her post in the party and expelled. After serving her jail term, Sasikala is out now, a free woman. The optics of her leaving the hospital were significant. She travelled in an SUV that was one of the vehicles used by the late Chief Minister. The Toyota Land Cruiser was not merely a vehicle, it was a message. To top it, the AIADMK flag on the vehicle was unmissable and deliberate. If pictures could speak, they spoke 1,000 words. In a sense, these pictures took off from February 2017 when Sasikala travelled by road from Chennai to Bengaluru to surrender at the central prison. Before she left, she had visited Jaya's final resting place at the Marina Beach. Back then, in a dramatic gesture, she had thumped 3 times on the Samadhi with her open palm. It was interpreted as taking a vow. But the visual imagery apart, is there another reason for those in charge of the AIADMK to worry about the return of Sasikala? Even before Sasikala stepped out, EPS made it clear that the AIADMK doors were shut for her.
Sasikala வெளியே வர பட்சத்துல அதிமுக கூட இணையறதுக்கு வாய்ப்பு ஒண்ணும் வாய்ப்பே கிடையாது. அவர்கள் கட்சியிலே இல்ல. சார் இந்த 7 பேர் அதிமுக கட்சியிலே கிடையாது.
But EPS, who calls his administration Amma's government, knows that sooner than later, Sasikala will stake claim to the inheritance of Jaya's political legacy. As it is clear, he is already watching over his shoulder, which is perhaps why the Chief Minister strategically chose 27 January, the official date of Sasikala's release from prison, to throw open Jayalalitha's Samadhi at the Marina to the public. But is Sasikala likely to make her move on the Tamil Nadu political chessboard soon? She has 3 options before her. Option 1. Encourage unrest in the AIADMK in the run-up to the elections. Her nephew TTV Dinakaran, who heads the AMMK, has already made claims that she is still the General Secretary of the AIADMK. The second option is to campaign for the AMMK in the elections. But given that Dinakaran's support base has dwindled considerably, riding on the AMMK vehicle is not likely to help Sasikala rise like a phoenix from the ashes. The last option is to bide her time till the assembly elections get over in May 2021. If she plays a prominent role in the elections and does not taste success, it will be interpreted as Tamil Nadu giving her a clear thumbs down. If the AIADMK does not return to power, as opinion polls suggest, and that leads to a weakening of Palanisami's hold over the party, it will provide Sasikala the right opportunity to strike. With T.S. Sudhir, Bureau Report, India Today.
Hi everyone, Preeti Chaudhary here. Hope you like this video. For latest news and analysis, like and subscribe to the India Today YouTube channel. And don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated. Thank you for watching.